Hi, YouTube. How's everybody? I'm doing okay. I've been having some really late nights and very early mornings, but still don't have a refrigerator. Our tractor hydraulics went down, and Doug's got to get a part for them and fix them and get that in the shop and fix it so he can plow the yard so we can get one in here. So I think we're just going to go with a brand new one. So I've been putting ice in a cooler and keeping milk cold and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. I've had it worse, but it's hard. So I was thinking about oh, Agenda 2020 and Agenda 2030 and the different things that they were going to push and you know excuse me, like the superbug and bombs and um, the false flag events and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, seeing some of David Icke's posts, I mean, the reason I won't really push a lot of his posts, although he has some good information, excuse me one moment, is because of the him pushing the reptile alien thing instead of just calling them filthy human beings. People are into calling them reptiles and aliens and whatnot, and they'd rather believe that a reptile is going to hurt you than somebody that looks just like you, that type of thing. So that's why I won't, I'm really selective on the information that I share around Facebook or out here in YouTube is because of the propaganda behind it and why they're doing it, the fear tactics, what they're trying to, push to fear fear porn. So anyway, so I was thinking, what would we do? I mean, if you're afraid, if you think like an alien's attacking your yard or something like that, what are you gonna do? Do you think like it's not human? Would that be your first thought? Would you think that it must be an alien, that another human being wouldn't do that to me, or people in their own country or something like that? And back in the 50s, we were given polio vaccinations. A lot of people got polio because of that, and we were experiments. They knew what they were doing. They knew full well what they were doing. So, and the swine flu, I almost died with that. They know what they're doing. I'm telling you that. Um, it's our government, our own government. Yes, our own government would hurt people. Literally, they took my documents into another state when they had been in Georgia and Atlanta, Georgia. I copied them. I have my paperwork of they call it an unknown fluke that's in my blood, um, or AKA superbug Morgellons. Okay, my point is they took and hid my information when I tried to access it again, but they didn't know that I had printed it out already. So, I mean, I have tangible proof of that. There's really nothing, of course, that I can do. Um, I would have to have one amazing, brave, brazen attorney to go after the United States, of course, but and it's possible there might be one that's strong enough and bold enough to take something on, but I don't have any money to pay somebody like that. And That's what they play on people's fears, is what I'm trying to say. This is more than a fear tactic, though, when it gets down to doing actual physical things to you. But what they're going to try and show you with Project Bluebeam and the things that are going to be going on in our skies and all the sky phenomenon around the world that these people have been pushing, um, I'm telling you, this is not true. You know, um, I mean, okay, as far as and the aluminum in the atmosphere, it's like a big projector screen. It allows them to be able to project things that they're going to want to use to cause fear in the hearts of people. So I guess I was just sitting here thinking today, I wonder how people would act. Like, what are you going to do? Run out in your yard and wave your flag, like, hey, I'm an American, Well, I don't know. Bad joke. So, or whatever country you live in. So, don't shoot me. I'm one of the good guys. But anyway, thought it's been a while since I've been on and I had some time. I got my work done early and so I only have supper to make later. I was amazingly hungry this morning. Well, about noon, I actually shared a half a tuna milk with Doug, and had a glass of milk, which is different for me. So, but I needed the energy, and I do feel a little bit better. So maybe that's a good thing, But I do usually fast every day, so you know. Um, see what else is going on. It's been it was like almost 40 degrees out today, above freezing for people that use Fahrenheit because we are Celsius. But so it was like what would it be? 42 8 degrees above freezing today. And but it didn't feel like it. It's like yesterday it was warm out too, but it was really windy. So I don't know. I just got kind of chilled out last couple days, but I've been getting up early and taking care of my kitty. I put my coffee on and then I clean her up right away and get some food and water into her. Today is the first time since she's been sick that she actually sat up. Well, she went to use her litter box and then sat up. I put some food in front of her and she sat and ate and then went and took a nap. So I changed all her bedding when she gets out of it. It was yesterday. I usually change it every few days, and I change her bandages every day and clean her twice a day. I don't want to do it too much because if I irritate the spots that have sores, there's two of them, then she'll start bleeding again and then the infection will set in. So we're trying to heal them up just by keeping them clean, keeping her clean and dry and fed and where she can sleep. And it's been difficult. Poor little thing. But in a way, she's doing better, but she's still really skinny and she needs to sleep. She sleeps a lot. Well, they do anyway, but when I clean her up at night, I have this ointment, triple antibiotic that I put on her that is a pain reliever one. And so I clean her up with iodine and water. And because I found that the iodine and peroxide or iodine and peroxide mixed, even kind of watered down, was too much for her. So I've been just using like a little bit of iodine and maybe a little lotion and then trying to clean around the sores, keeping that dry and clean, and then putting the triple antibiotic on her with a band aid. and then laying her down and tucking her in. I have some little knitted blankets I put on her and that. And she's all tucked in right now. She's already ate 4 times today, well, little bits at a time, and for 3 days in a row now. This is the fourth day I've got her to eat 5 times, which is really good because she was only eating a couple times, if even, and only tiny little bites. And one time last week, she went almost 3 days without eating. I was thinking I was going to have to take her in. And I used to work for a vet. I mean, that's what I did was take care. I was the one that took care of them, so I'm used to taking care of animals. So, you know, so yeah, I'm hoping she'll pull out of it. She does seem to be doing a bit better. So, yeah, I've been a little frazzled. Not so much that people would stand by their country and think that there is a war, but the ones that actually think that there is a war and don't care that people would die. That really pisses me off. It really does. It always has. I've never changed. I'm not gonna either. That's how I feel. If people think there was a T-shirt a guy sent around, it said something like, "If either you support your country, or like you don't deserve to be an American or whatever." And I told him, well, hey, I'm a native and I follow God's laws and I don't believe in murdering anybody. And I know we can put these people in jail. So I said, why don't you pack your crap up and get out? And I said, and don't let the door hit you, you know? Or I'm like, or don't let the door hit you on your way out. That's kind of mildly putting how that saying goes, if you know what I mean. Like, don't let the door hit you in your ass. That's funny. Not funny, but I was told that as a child. you know, I really wasn't a bad kid. I mean, they brought out some of my worst tennis tendencies, but um, I was a pretty obedient child, and I worked hard for them people, and I've always been a protector of people like that. Like I was writing on Facebook today. And some of you have heard me say this, but it was true. I would put myself in harm's way if my older brother, adopted brother, was getting hurt. I would get in the way to save him, or my mom would be getting hurt, and I would go help her, and my brother would just lay in his room like a big old coward, you know. So true. So anyway. But yeah, I've always been a fighter like that. No matter what, it's like I've literally stood up for people and got hurt doing it. But then I started taking defense courses and stuff. It's like, getting beat up isn't so cool. Maybe I should do something about this just in case. Then I got to the point where about, I'm going to say 20 years ago, maybe about 20 years ago, I got slapped, and it's like, that's it. Last time anybody ever puts their hands on me again, and I'm going to pummel them. That's it. Forget it. you know? The other night I was getting picked on, and I was like, you trying to make this physical so you can call the cops? What's up with this? And my cat's sick, and she doesn't need the baloney. I was just trying to sit in my room and chill and be alone. I was asked, do you want a coffee? I'm like, no, thank you. I have one, you know. And it stood in the door arguing with me. And it's like, I go, just leave me alone, leave me alone. But these people like that, they've been like this all my life. Um, I really was in here just being, I didn't say anything before I came in or even after. It's like I've always been pretty peaceful like that. But, I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you what's going on in my life. So I love people. Even the mean ones, I love them. But I'm really disgusted with this fake war crap because I know it's all about money. It's all it is. There's no reason that we should be sending $4 billion a year to Israel that aren't the real Israelites, that believe in Talmuds that their own families wrote. Not even the Torah, like the real Jews and the books of Moses with the laws of God in there. They don't follow that. They have one Talmud in particular, the one that bothers me the worst, is that if, and you've heard me say this too, but I read it with my own eyes. I know what I'm talking about. If a man's penis fits in even an infant girl, she is old enough for sex. I mean, that's ludicrous. But that's the Israel we are supporting. That's not the real Jews, not the children of God, not the scattered tribes and the lost tribes of Israel. That's the people like that. That's you and me. That's, you can feel it in your blood if you're one of a child of God like that. You'll know it. You'll know it just by you just know, you know. And if you're not, your blood can become that by having God in your heart. So, um, it's disgusting. And that's who they're supporting. They're killing all the people in Syria and Iran because those are the people that have the most knowledge about our history. It's not about oil, it's about controlling the human population and shutting up the people. If they can make me look crazy, if people don't believe me, that's better for them. That's better for their control. And there's no advancement in my life to getting out here and talking like I'm talking right now. There's nothing I can gain. I'm not doing this for money. There's absolutely no physical gain, only spiritual. So that's the only reason. Watch out for those people that want to make money out here and what they're telling you and why are they telling you it. Those bigger channels that are, commercialized and whatnot, you have to wonder why. And there's some that I'll listen to because their information might be um, all right, maybe. Um, there's a couple. Um, if I pass something around or tell you somebody's name, it's probably for a reason, a good reason. I don't watch very many people, and even though I might like somebody, I still might have my disagreements with them, and I make that clear. It's like we can agree to disagree and still have respect for one another and even be friends, you know. But a lot of people can't do that, you know. There's many people out there that, first off, it's like another post I sent around. You can't ever be taught something or something like that if you're not willing to learn. Well, I was taught. I had to be willing to learn. The things I'm saying to you, they're just not off the top of my head. Although there are things that God put in my heart and showed me, like in my soul that I know like that. But I mean, I'm not just making stuff up out of the blue to try and trick or fool or be some big deal. It's not like that at all. This is honestly because I love people, everybody. And going back to that war crap, you know, if they can go in and pull people out of places and kill them, then they can go in there and pull them out of there and put them in jail. Of course, it's cheaper to kill people than it is to keep them incarcerated, but they can also make them work for their food. You know, have them making tennis shoes or, license plates like they used to or whatever. See, if you kill these people, they're never going to suffer like they're trying to make other people suffer. There's people that are calling for dictators to be taken down and murdered and whatever. No, put them in jail like any other thief. Let them get hungry and cold like any other criminal in any other prison. And then you can abide by God's law and laws. Don't tell me that it's like the $4 billion we're sending to Israel. If they need food, that's one thing. We can help people with food, but to actually send a country that has more missiles than we do, and we're sending them money to fund their efforts, and then somebody tells me that if I'm not supporting our troops, I'm unpatriotic, you know? And this is probably a person, and I'll venture to say, because when I would say I pledge allegiance to the flag and the United States of America, one nation under God, when I said that, I literally would start crying. A lot of you heard this too, but it's true. And I would look around my classroom or wherever I was, and people had their hands on their hearts with no feeling behind what they were saying, no understanding of what the words they were spitting out. And it's still the same. This person that sent that post around with that t-shirt, I'm sure he never felt like crying being one nation under God. It probably never even occurred to this person. And I know him quite well. We've been friends on Facebook for quite some time. Probably, I'm going to say 6 years, you know. And we've had our disagreements, but that's a pretty big one. So, no, I don't know. I don't believe these wars are most certainly real. I do believe, however, that they are um, trying to kill off the rest of people that know the language and the translations of what some of the first writings that were inspired by God in the Bible. And I know a lot of the Muslims have a lot of the truth and a lot of the understanding. And I know how bad they're hated and why. That's why. It has nothing to do with skin color or anything else. It's because of their beliefs. They believe in right and wrong and abiding by the word of God. It's their whole life. A lot of people in the Middle East. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying a lot. And there's a lot of Christians too. And there's a lot of Christian Jews and Muslims that we share the same posts and feel the same way in our hearts. And that's another talking point too, where Christians will say, and I've said this before, but it is so true, that you can't enter the kingdom of God without, you know, acknowledging Jesus Christ died for our sins. Okay, that's cool. But if they don't know who Jesus is, and they really were not raised like that, and they don't have the knowledge, are you going to tell me that the Son that sits on the right hand of the Father, who is going to be there, and you can't enter the kingdom of God before you have it out with Jesus, so to speak, that they're not going to meet him at the door? You know, it's just like a little child has no understanding who Jesus is, but he's going to be accepted because we're all God's children. We're all going to meet God, every single one of us. And people that think differently, if you actually do, as a Christian, think that anybody in the world is any less than you in God's eyes, or has any less understanding of his love in their hearts, you couldn't be more mistaken. True. So, well, I do love y'all, and I have been pretty emotional that first day when I heard that Iran crap. Yeah, it's upsetting to me because I have cousins that have, well, like when I have a second cousin that's in the military and it's a female, to me that's disgusting, number one, and it just is. And then I have my actual cousins that are supporting their children that are in the military, and they believe all this stuff is real. And it isn't so much that they believe it's real, it's that they don't care if other people were getting hurt. That's the part that just frazzles me to no end. And it really does. It's like, yeah, you're the kind of twerp that would sit there and watch somebody get beat up and not even say a damn word because you'd be afraid of your stupid ass getting beat. That's what that is. Cowards, you know. But yeah, oh yeah, they fight for our freedom. No, they don't. Everybody's free. It's all propaganda and bullshit. What our tax dollars do. Well, think about, how about individual governments right where we live in our states? I mean, there's, certain things that are just a given that you don't do that are good and bad. And the barter system could come back into play. And a lot of these gigantic companies that are funding the wars, they can go down. We don't need them. You know, we can police ourselves. You know, there's enough good police in the world, in our countries, in our communities. Nothing's going to happen. Not, if you hear bombs, and I mean, it's just like these false flag events, um, only they're going to get bigger and more extreme. But it's just like the sicknesses that are going around. They were contrived in labs and put out there as experiments, as chemical warfare and virus warfare. And that's what it's all about. That's why it is. So I'm going to leave it at that note. That's what's been on my mind. I hope everybody is doing good. I know it's not a nice time in the world, but I can't pretend to sit here and be happy about this crap because I'm not. I am really angry. If I could call Trump a liar to his face, I would. All of them. They all lie. They all sit down at a table together and think of how they're going to lie to the people to fund their wars and keep paying all the people that have the most money in the world that fund their campaigns and whatnot. It's a big fancy game to them, but they're using the little guy to do it. I don't see that as very funny. So that's where I put the flag down and say we're all united in this world. This is all of our world, not just like 1% of the people with the most money. No, everybody owns this land, this water, and our air, and all the vegetation on it belongs to every people, every person, period. And it's time. These people that call themselves elite, they're delete. They need to be deleted. I say throw them in jail, make them work so they can be cold and hungry and know how everybody else has felt many times. So that's my solution. So, okay, everybody, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.